story is a lot like the others. I was lied to. Growing up, I was told being a mother is the most rewarding.
Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about regretful parents. Nobody talks about this part of parenthood. Behind the baby showers, cute Instagram posts, and well-meaning advice, there's a darker unspoken truth. Some parents regret having children, and not because they don't love them, but because of everything they gave up for, the identity they lost, and the life they never got to live. So I've put the videos together so that you watch and learn. I'll be back to share my true sense.
My story is a lot like the others. I was lied to. Growing up, I was told being a mother is the most rewarding experience and that children will show you unconditional love that you'll only get to experience once you have children. While I do agree that the amount of love I felt for my son when he was born was overwhelming, being a mother has been the most difficult and unrewarding thing I have ever done. I was so young and naive when I got pregnant. At 19 years old, I had never really considered the fact that I could decide if I wanted to have kids or not. I was always taught that that's just what you do as a woman. It was just expected of you. I was nervous and I wasn't sure if I was ready, but my partner was so excited for this baby. I couldn't take that from him. So I just went with it and looked forward to the joy and happiness that I thought awaited me. Pregnancy was difficult. I worked in fast food on my feet all day long until the literal day I gave birth. I was in labor for 17 hours after working a 40-hour work week on my tired, swollen feet. 7 weeks after my baby was born, I found out my partner was on a dating site and cheating on me. I was crushed. I felt trapped. We were both young, broke, working fast food at the same restaurant, sharing one car, sharing an apartment, and just had a brand new baby together. I felt so stuck and saw no way out. All the while, my mom was away in rehab for overdosing and trying to unalive herself, and my estranged dad was in the hospital after overdosing and being in a coma for months. I had no one, and I was so broken and lost. I eventually got the strength to leave him shortly after that, and have been a single mom for the last 10 years now. It does not get easier as they get older. The challenges just become different. My son was diagnosed with ADHD for his impulsiveness and hyperactivity, which is a constant struggle at school and at home, even with medication. At 5 years old, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which is a life-altering autoimmune disease that can literally kill you if something goes even slightly wrong. Shortly after that, he was diagnosed with celiac disease, another autoimmune disorder that completely alters your diet and makes the daily task of eating meals challenging. I have developed severe anxiety around his medical issues and have constant worry. He can't do sleepovers because no one knows how to properly handle his medical needs. I don't ever get a break. And if I do, I worry the entire time because his medical needs are difficult for people that don't do it every day like me. And one wrong decision could be detrimental. His dad does less than the bare minimum and shows up when it's convenient for him. He doesn't step up or help because he knows I will do it all like I always have. So he never has to worry about any of the things that I worry about for our son. He couldn't tell you any of his doctor's names, his teacher's names, his clothing size, any of it. So he certainly can't handle his medical needs either. Medical issues aside, my son's behavior has also been a huge challenge. I have worked so hard to give him a good life and give him anything he could ever want and need, and now I think that's backfired on me. If I say no to anything, he's angry at me. When I tell him to get off his game because it's time for bed, he's mad. When I have to discipline him for bad behavior, he's mad. When I ask him to do chores, he's mad. Everything is a fucking battle. I do everything for him, yet I'm always the bad guy, the punching bag. I'm tired of it. I feel so exhausted and unappreciated. This is the hardest, most unrewarding job that I can't quit. The guilt I have for feeling this way also makes me feel terrible. I often worry that he knows I regret being a mother and that I'm causing him childhood trauma. I worry that he will resent me for this when he's older. But I'm really trying my best. I'm sure he is too. He didn't ask to be here. He didn't ask for these medical issues. You don't know what kind of child you're going to get. You don't know if they will develop medical or behavioral issues. You don't know if your partner will become a terrible parent after the baby is born. You just truly don't know what cards you will be dealt for your experience with motherhood. It's a risk you have to be so sure that you are willing to take, no matter the outcome. I do truly love my child, but I hate being a mother. I wanted to share my story that I feel is a different take on regretful parents. I've always wanted to be a mother. I found my person at 27 years old, and I was married at 30, which wasn't super old for my millennial generation. However, most of my friends were on baby one or two by then. We waited a year to start trying, and by 32, I was concerned something could be wrong. I was not prepared for the 5 year infertility battle I endured. Month after month of being heartbroken, doctor's visits, and tests, which led us to IVF. As much as I am thankful for this medical procedure, I cannot fully explain my trauma from it to anyone. Months of testing, 14 days straight of vaginal ultrasounds from different technicians, 400 plus injections, and countless blood draws. I was poked and pricked for months. I was placed under anesthesia while a long needle penetrated me to retrieve eggs. I was placed in stirrups, fully exposed to a group of people I have never met on multiple occasions. I am blessed because it was only one egg retrieval that we had two embryos that are both beautiful children now. But not 1 ounce of me is thankful. I love my children and have zero regrets about birthing them, but many regrets about how I conceived them. I also feel like I have a unique responsibility to not complain. That I should be so overjoyed to even have children that any struggles I endured conceiving should not be talked about because at least I have children, which was said to me when I was deep into postpartum depression with my second child. Motherhood at first was a bit of a challenge for me. My husband and I were together for 9 years before our first was born. 9 years of coming and going as we pleased, nothing else to be responsible for. A whole large life of 36 years. I know nothing back then would have stopped me from doing IVF. I don't have a community to turn to about this. How can someone be happy and love their children, yet wish they never did the medical procedure to have them? I don't have the answers, and I'm sure I will unpack it all in therapy one day. But in the meantime, with two young children at the age of 41, I'm just trying to swim. Maybe this is not necessarily a regretful parent, but regretful conceiving story, which I'm sure a lot of women have.
That's a video, guys. So I'm just here also to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. Okay, regretful parents. In a world where parenthood is often romanticized, many are shocked to find that some parents carry a deep painful regret, one they feel they can never admit out loud. From career dreams that got left behind to relationships that broke down under pressure and personal freedom that vanished overnight. These parents are living a life they never truly chose. And while they may love their children dearly, they are hearted by the question, what if I had chosen differently? A lot of people enter parenthood because it's expected, it's what society says you should do, get married, settle down, have kids. But what happens when you realize too late that you were never ready? Or worse, that you never even wanted children in the first place. Some parents look back and wonder if they were pressured by culture, religion, or even their own fear of loneliness. And when the responsibility hits, when the sleepless night turn into exhausting years, that regret clips in a shadow they can't shake off. There is also the emotional weight that comes from losing yourself. Many regretful parents say they no longer recognize a person in the mirror. Hobbies are gone, passions are buried, the spontaneous career free a vision of themselves doesn't exist anymore. Every decision is about someone else, and while sacrifice is part of parenting, the loss of identity can leave a person feeling horror and resentful, even if they never show it on the outside. And then there is the financial pressure. Kids are expensive. For some, having children meant giving up education or careers. It meant living paycheck to paycheck. They watch their peers travel the world, start businesses, pursue passions while they are stuck in survival mode, constantly jingled in bills, daycare costs, and future fears. The burden builds up quietly until one day they wonder, was it worth it? Regretting parenting doesn't always mean not loving your child. It can mean loving your child deeply but wishing the circumstances were different. Wishing you had more support, wishing you had waited, wishing you had taken more time to truly understand yourself before becoming responsible for another human being. What's even more painful is the silence. Regretful parents often suffer alone because society doesn't allow them to speak their truth without labeling them as ungrateful or heartless. There is also much shame attached to the idea that a parent regrets having children or could wish they made a different choice. But these are real emotions, complex, laid, and deserving of companionship, compassion, no judgment. Sometimes the regret doesn't come immediately. It creeps in over the years, especially during hard seasons. When a child is struggling, when a marriage is falling apart, or when life feels stagnant. Some parents look at their child and wonder, did I bring them into this world just to suffer too? That guilt can be crushing. It's not just about their own life anymore, it's about the kind of life they gave to someone else and whether it was the right decision at all. Let's also talk about mothers, society places an enormous amount of pressure on women to find fulfillment in motherhood. But what if they don't want, if their dream was never to be a mom, but they were told they have to change their mind? Many women live with this quiet regret, shamed into silence, pretending to enjoy something that feels like a constant battle between love and resentment. They show up every day, but inside they're breaking. And it's not just about emotions, it's about time. Years pass in blur. Some parents wake up one day and realize they have never given their best years to raising children, and now they're left wondering who they are and what they want. That realization can feel like mourning a life unlived. And even when they try to make peace with it, that question it never goes away. This is not saying parenting is all about regret. Far from it. There is a beautiful fulfilling joyful moments, but for some those moments don't outweigh the loss. And it's time we let the truth exist without demonizing the people who feel it. They deserve to be heard because acknowledging regret doesn't make someone a bad parent. It makes them human. It's also important to remember that not every regretful parent stays that away. Some grow into it, some find healing through connection, therapy, or building a life that includes both their child and their own needs. But that path takes honesty and a safe space to express what they are really feeling. So maybe the real issue is not about the same parents feel regret, it's that we don't allow them to say it. We need to open up these conversations not to scare people away from parenthood, but to prepare them better, to remind people that parenthood is not as simple as they think. It's okay to not want kids, that it's okay to wait. And that's one should be pressured into a lifetime decision by anyone to society, not family, not fear. If you are someone who feels this way, I want you to know you are not alone. Your feelings are valid. You are not evil or broken. You're just someone who made a decision in a world that doesn't always let you choose freely. And if you're not a parent yet, let this be a gentle reminder. Choose with intention because this is choices changes everything. So if you ever feel like okay, I'm not ready to have a child, please, you can even tell your partner that you're not ready. You're not forced to have kids. It's your own womb. You have rights to it. You have right to tell them no, I'm not ready. Because before you have a child, mentally you have to be prepared. You have to prepare yourself that now I'm ready to have a child because a child needs a lot. You need to be financially stable. You need to be ready to wake up, to be up the whole night. You need to be ready to take care of them, and you need to be ready to be there for them. Okay, even if the dad is there, sometimes they can be there, but they're not even helping you. You feel like you're single, you feel like this, it will bring a lot of confusion. Like, you're not there, I'm here. You can't hear the child crying. We've heard women where they just wake up alone and their husband is just sleeping. Okay,